April 1970 marked the first ever Earth Day. That year, 20 million people joined rallies and celebrations across the country. Dennis Hayes was one of the organizers.
That there was a ripeness in the country for people to rise up on environmental issues. And so he did an abrupt switch, changed it from an environmental teach-in into Earth Day.
Hayes says the plan was to have a national day of awareness, but allow local environmental groups to focus on the issues that mattered most to their communities.
Everything from peeling lead paint off of walls and people in poor neighborhoods getting brain damage, to air pollution where walking down the streets of Los Angeles was like smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day just from breathing, and on and on and on, except they didn't think that they had much to do with one another. And what the purpose of Earth Day was to take all of these myriad strands and weave them together into the fabric of modern environmentalism.
In San Diego, there were events at SDSU and UCSD, but they weren't welcomed by everyone. According to a newspaper story from that day, there was a bomb threat that paused the festivities. Reaction among students was of general distaste and impatience, the story reads. One student said it was, quote, a pathetic, infantile gesture. At SDSU, the speaker was Democratic Congressman John Tunney, who went on to become a U.S. Senator. He warned about the dangers of storing nuclear waste, one that seems alarmingly prophetic. The wells will contain only a 50-year accumulation, he said. What will happen after 50 years?
I was 12, and so we had a poster contest. I don't think I won, but I definitely remember. I have a visual recollection of carrying a poster through the school.
Carolyn Chase was at that first Earth Day celebration. It clearly had an impact on her. Now she's the organizer of San Diego's Earth Fair, which, except for this year, is held annually at Balboa Park.
What I was looking for, in 1970, I was a kid at school. In 1990, I was looking for how to volunteer for a local conservation group. And I think that's the purpose of Earth Day, honestly, is to get people started.
That first Earth Day also launched the recycling movement, says Rick Anthony, who was at the first one in San Diego.
It was an awakening for sure. And so Earth Day was the beginning of a trend.
Using Earth Day's momentum, he organized recycling programs at many local colleges and universities.
It was, we picked up on it. We did. That's why recycling was a great issue on our campus.
Hayes, the original organizer, says the coronavirus is an imperfect analogy to climate change, but there are lessons to be learned.
I'm hoping that it turns out to be true that humans, like literally all other animals, have not just an individual desire to survive, but a willingness to sacrifice for the species, that we really do not want to see vast overshoots and collapses of humanity, and that out of that instinctive desire to preserve ourselves, we will come up with enough intelligence to address the major threats of our era.
Claire Tregesser, KPBS News.